Hey, how's it going? My name is Andy Monroe, the co-founder of Bullish Events. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through a few ways that you can leverage events, both virtual and in person, to increase the client retention and LTV of your coaching or consulting clients. Over the last 5 years, we have hosted dozens of front-end acquisition events and back-end fulfillment events. In this video, we're going to be focusing on those back-end fulfillment events, but we have found a few cool ways to increase client retention with events. So that's going to be the entire topic of this video. I'm excited to walk you through it. With all that being said, let's jump into my computer now. So you can see right here how to increase client retention with events. Now, step number one, or maybe step number zero, like the core foundational piece of this video, is that you should incorporate events into your fulfillment. So whether you're running a consulting business, coaching business, or community business, if you do not have events into your fulfillment or your service delivery yet, you should definitely incorporate them because of how powerful they are for creating transformation, increasing retention, increasing LTV, decreasing churn, actually helping out with the implementation. The list goes on. I'm going to cover a few of those points in this video. But if you do not already have events in some way or another, both virtual or in person, into your service delivery, I highly recommend that you do that because this is where the market is headed. People want implementation, people want community, and people want as much help as possible, and events are an amazing way to do that. So I think I kind of touched on a lot of points on this slide already. Like I said, these can be virtual or in person. In person is great for high ticket offers. So if you are selling a $15, $20, $25, $30,000 program, in-person fulfillment events are amazing. That being said, if you have more of a low ticket offer, it's probably better to do virtual, or maybe do one virtual, one in person, whatever it is. In person works really well for high ticket offers, and low/mid ticket offers, you can do maybe a hybrid of in person and virtual, or just do all virtual. It doesn't really matter. What matters is you do have events plugged into your service delivery. And you also want to have these events focused on implementation. And like I said, this is where the market is headed. People aren't really seeking out information anymore. You know, with ChatGPT, with how many creators are online, with how much free content is on YouTube, like the videos I'm making right now, there really isn't a gate around information like there used to be. You know, the courses used to be very popular back, 5, 10, 15 years, just because the information was hard to find, but you can find pretty much anything online if you look hard enough, or if you just have a conversation with ChatGPT, you can kind of gain a pretty good understanding of the information around most topics. That being said, people still need help with the implementation. Like, having the information is one thing, but actually how to plug it into their business or their life or whatever it is that you talk about, that is what people need help with, and that's what you should be focusing your events on. Even if you do have a course, like, that's totally fine. Like, the education can be supplemental, but what you want to do is leverage these events, these fulfillment events on the back end, as a way to implement the information and implement the frameworks and implement the strategies that you are teaching them. And you don't want these events to be conference style with lots of teaching and surface level content. You want them to be more workshop style. We're actually helping them with the implementation, and you're helping them get an actual result by attending the event. So there should be a current situation that they are entering into the event with, and you are helping them get to a desired outcome, like an actual tangible result that they can walk away from the event with. That is how you structure powerful fulfillment events that will actually get your clients results, and getting your clients better results will help with retention, LTV, decreasing churn, and all of those amazing things. So that is step number one, or maybe step number zero. The absolute foundation is actually incorporating events into your fulfillment. Now, number two is strategically spacing them out. Now, multiple events that go deep on specific topics is better than one event that is surface level. So if you just do one fulfillment event per year, or every 6 months, whatever it is, if you just go very surface level and cover a lot of topics, it's kind of the same idea as an acquisition event, where at an acquisition event you can use that to your advantage. Like, if you cover a lot of topics at your acquisition event, it kind of creates these open loops, and people want to work with you further to close those loops. But if you open these loops in your fulfillment events, that just makes people kind of question your ability to help them, and maybe they start to consider other options. Like, you don't want loops to be open for your clients. You want to be closing loops with your clients and helping out with the implementation. So having multiple events that go deep on specific topics is much better than having one fulfillment event that goes, surface level, covers a lot of different topics, but doesn't really help them get a tangible result. And we have found 3 to 5 events per year to be the sweet spot when it comes to fulfillment events. That's roughly 1 per quarter, which is a really good cadence. At least that's what we have seen work. Each event is focused on a different problem, phase, or transformation. So like I said, instead of doing a holistic event where you're going surface level on a lot of different topics, you pick a specific phase, a specific problem, or a few problems, or maybe a few phases, and you go really deep on those, and you get them results in that given phase, or you help them solve that given problem. Now, I would recommend making sure that the events flow together. If you're going to have 4 events per year, so 1 per quarter, you will kind of want those events to build on top of each other, and kind of you want to help them implement the framework, the strategies, whatever you were teaching, in a way that flows together. So if you have a 4-phase system and you do phase 2 at the beginning of the year, and then you do phase 4, then you do phase 3, then you do phase 1, that doesn't really flow together, it doesn't really make any sense. But if you do phase 1 at the beginning of the year, phase 2 in Q2, phase 3 in Q3, and phase 4 in Q4, yeah, there might be a few people that aren't following along the phases at that pace. All of the events are going to flow very nicely into each other. And finally, when you have a cadence of 3 to 5 events per year, it just gives people something to look forward to. You know, when they finish an event, they have one that's going to be in 2.5 or 3 months that they can go and look forward to go seeing all their friends in the community again. This actually helps a lot with retention and churn. We've heard a few horror stories in the industry of people just hosting one event per year, and like once that event is done, people kind of cancel their membership because that was it. That was the big extravaganza. That was the big dramatic demonstration, was that one event. But if you have 3 or 4 or 5 per year, then people have something to look forward to later down the road, which will keep them inside of your program longer. All right, strategy number 3 is you want to make community a big part of these events. So events are the best way to build community within your business. And I can tell you right now that community is something that people are really searching for. As our world gets more virtual, as AI becomes more integrated into our lives, like AI is not evil and like virtual experiences are not evil, but it's definitely making us feel a little bit more disconnected. And people are looking for places they can go to connect with others, whether it's virtual or in person. Of course, in-person connection is the best way to connect other people. It's in our DNA to connect in person with other human beings. But if all you can do is virtual right now, like still providing a place for your people to connect is extremely important. So events are the best way to build community within your business, and it gives space for people to connect, work together, and build relationships, which, like I said, is kind of rare in today's world. And as you grow, you can even get your community involved in the event. So like leading sessions, leading breakouts. You know, one thing we like to do with a few of our clients is actually get their students up on stage to like walk through what's working for them and show like, hey, I've been able to join this program or join this community and achieve XYZ results. This is how I did it. And it kind of establishes more social proof for yourself as the one that has created the business, but it also just gets your community involved, and people are kind of sitting in the stands or at the tables, or you know, if they're on Zoom, they're watching the Zoom event, and they kind of see what's possible. It makes them think that, hey, if I can get there, like, you know, I could potentially be on that stage one day, which is pretty powerful. If there's one thing that I can guarantee you in this video is that the stronger your community is and the deeper and more connected your community is, the lower your churn will be and the higher your LTV and your client retention will be. A company called Fun Launch is one of our clients, and they sell a $30,000 high ticket mastermind program, and that comes with 3 to 5 events per year. And there are people that are inside of that program, and that are like renewing their membership just to attend the events because they love the community so much. So if you're running a coaching, consulting, or community business and you're having a problem with churn and you just can't get people to stick inside of your community or your business, that problem will go away if you have a stronger community within your brand. And of course, that needs to be paired with good service delivery and good results. Number 4 is using events as a chance for your clients to recommit. So events are vehicles for transformation and commitment. Whenever somebody attends an event, they're experiencing a transformation if the event is structured properly, and they're also committing to themselves to be different in the future. You know, there's a them before the event, there's a them after the event. We call this an event horizon. And any good event has a commitment where they are committing to be the person that they are now. Like, they just experienced this transformation. They now need to roll with that momentum, go out and implement everything they learned, and commit to their dreams and their goals, whatever the event is about. However, in the real world, things can be a little discouraging. Like, maybe you go and you attend an event, it's amazing, you commit to being this new person, you're gonna go implement all this cool stuff into your life and your business, and then you go and then your dog gets hit by a car. It's kind of a dramatic example. Or maybe, you know, you try to go implement something and it doesn't work, or something's a little bit more expensive than you thought it would be, or whatever it is. The real world hits and it's just kind of discouraging sometimes, and it can be hard to keep the momentum rolling. So if you use your events to help with implementation, get results, build community, show them what's possible, and also recommit to their dreams and their goals. So no matter how good you are at what you do, people are going to join your program, your business, your consulting offer, your community offer, whatever it is. They're going to join it, they're going to start using it, and they're probably going to experience some friction or some discouragement. Like, this is kind of hard. I don't know if this is for me. You can leverage your events as a reason, as a way, a vehicle for them to recommit to their dream and recommit to the reason they joined your program in the first place. Because if somebody has been experiencing some friction and some pain for a few months, if they come onto your event, that is almost a chance for you to get them to re-buy into your program, your movement, and what you are doing. Just because this is a fulfillment event doesn't mean you get to skip out on the commitment. That aspect is really important if you want to increase your client retention and decrease your churn. All right, strategy number 5 is gathering feedback at your events. This one's kind of intuitive, but you want to discover the problems and pain points of your clients and implement these into your program, community, and future events. And one of the best ways to gather feedback from your community is to do it at an event, whether it's a virtual event or an in-person event. You're actually with them live, talking back and forth, going back and forth, and you can have surveys and you can have like opportunities for them to reflect on their experience so far and fill out surveys. But you can also just ask them, in the sessions, in the Q&As, in the breakout rooms, you'll start to gather a good idea of what collective problems or pain points your community or your clients are dealing with, and you can use that to make your events better and also just make your program better. Because at the end of the day, you should be building your program and your events for your clients and nobody else. Not yourself, not your business partner, not your friend, not your mom, not your dad. It should be built for your clients. So you should be gathering as much feedback and as much data from your clients and use this information to make your service better and also to make your events better. All right, the last strategy that I want to talk about is award ceremony. So having an award within your business is an amazing way to increase client retention because it gives people something to work for. When they decide to work with you and they get plugged into your community and they see that there is this award they can go and achieve. Funnel Hacking Live, Russell Brunson, they have the 2 Comma Club Award. Fun Launch, that client that I mentioned, they have the Wall Street Rebel Award. Pretty much every successful coaching or consulting company has some sort of award that their community and their clients can work towards. It is amazing for increasing client retention. And what makes this strategy even better is if you have little award ceremonies where you actually give these awards out at your events. Not only is this amazing social proof, but it will also instill belief in your clients that haven't received the award yet that they can do it. Like they see all of their colleagues and all their other community members up there on stage or in the Zoom room getting an award for achieving XYZ result. Whatever it is you help them accomplish, that will instill belief that they can do it as well. Awards, milestones, checkpoints, etc. are great for increasing retention, social proof, and trust that you can solve their problems. All right, so those are a few ways you can leverage events, both virtual and in person, on the back end of your business as a vehicle for fulfillment and service delivery to increase client retention, increase LTV, decrease churn. Essentially, all these different words for saying you want to keep people inside of your program longer and paying you longer. These are a few event strategies that you can leverage to accomplish that objective. If you are a coach, consultant, or community owner that is currently hosting events but not seeing the results that you want, or you want to start hosting events but you just don't know where to start, make sure you click the link down below. And also, if you could like this video and subscribe to our channel, that would be super helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.